I wake up every single morning. I'm a very busy individual. I obviously work. I attend university. I'm not right now because we're on winter break, but we go back in just a few days. I have a bunch of hobbies, family, friends that I spend time with. There's always something on my plate. And I always get stressed about these things. Maybe not always, but a lot of the times I get stressed, okay? And I'm like, what's the best way to relieve my stress? What is the best way to just not think about issues and the work and the responsibilities that I have going on? And do you know what the answer to that is? There's two things. There's the gym, and there's watching Real Madrid. And as a part of the New Year, New Me protocol, I will no longer be watching Real Madrid to feel good, to feel things, to feel happiness, to feel joy. I hate this club. And do you guys know why I hate this club? Even though we beat Atletico Madrid 2-1. Also, try this, it's delicious. That was such a horrid performance. Atletico Madrid, who is notorious for playing haram ball. All 11 men on defense. Just torture to watch. It's like watching paint dry. Outplayed and dominated us last night in a stadium filled with a bunch of my Arab homies that every single person in that stadium was wearing a Real Madrid jersey. There probably was not one Atletico Madrid fan in attendance in Saudi Arabia. I don't even think they know what Atletico Madrid is in Saudi Arabia. They only know two clubs there, Barcelona and Real Madrid. In the Middle East, they don't watch Prem like that. It's all La Liga, right? And back in the day, it used to be Serie A, right? They're not into the Prem like that. And we got dominated. We were damn near playing at home. That's what it felt like. If you look in the stands, it's an ocean of white. Everyone's wearing a Real Madrid kit. Hold on. Sorry. He wants to be in the video. Come here. Okay? So, how do we get that dominated? How do we get that dominated at essentially home? I know it's not the Bernabeu, but essentially home by a team that is notorious for letting other teams have the ball. We just let them grow into the game more and more and more. Let's talk about the lineup, okay? I don't think the lineup was too poor. It was essentially the same lineup from the game against Real Betis. Now, a lot of people just started discussing how Gonzalo Garcia did. He was asked to be a hold-up forward in a game like this. Well, when I look at it from a tactical perspective, let's say Atletico Madrid had played their usual haram ball, park the bus 4-4-2. Well, he stays in and around the center backs. He floats around. He tries to get on the end of crosses because those are the only way that we're really going to make opportunities against the low block with a right-footed winger on the wing. He's not going to consistently beat players on the inside and have shooting opportunities. I know he literally did that in the Champions League last season, but that's like a one-off, right? Against low blocks, we've all seen it before. We've all watched football. We all know how it works. You just got to kind of have a moment of magic, make something happen, or hope that they make a mistake. It's very, very hard to break down a low block if you don't have the right pieces. And if there is one team in Europe that does not have the right pieces, it is us. And we don't have the right pieces for a lot of different problems in this sport. However, that wasn't the case. Atletico Madrid actually came out and attacked us, okay? So we are asking him to do a little bit more of a hold-up role, which he's all right in the air, but he's not quite like he's not a Lukaku, right? He's not going to be able to hold it up that well, especially against the physical and aggressive center backs that Atletico Madrid has. Now, I think if we had gone a little bit more direct at times and exploited that high line of theirs, maybe he could have been more effective. I have no idea. This is why I'm some random dude in Michigan and not the coach of Real Madrid. So I think he was under a little bit too much criticism. It's like, what did we expect? The whole team played like garbage. Did we expect Gonzalo Garcia to just score 3 bicycle kicks? No, like that wasn't going to be the case. So maybe let's get off of the guy who's played 3 games for us as back, right? We could sit here, however, and I've seen comments about this, about how you guys are coming after me about always going after Vini or Mbappe, and I go after Vini and Mbappe because Vini and Mbappe are the reason everything is happening the way it is. And I'm going to clarify. Vini has been atrocious. Vini has not scored in 18 or 19 games. And you guys are telling me this is the guy that's demanding the same salary that Cristiano Ronaldo had? The player that had more goals than games played for Real Madrid? Vini is deserving of that same salary? At this point, I wouldn't give Vini a bag of Takis. Genuinely. He's been that bad. And something you guys need to understand is me speaking poorly about a player does not mean that I'm not a Real Madrid fan. Right? You guys have the wrong interpretation of what being a Real Madrid fan is. We are the harshest, most insane club in the world. Everyone knows this, except us, it seems. Like, yeah, I'm going to criticize our players when they aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Do you know what would get Vini back in form? Do you guys honestly want to know? This is why I don't feel sorry for the guy. Vini would get back in form if he stopped worrying about whether he or Mbappe is getting paid more. Vini would stop playing poorly if he didn't think, I want Cristiano Ronaldo's salary. Vini would start playing good again if he wasn't concerned about being the main man. Because clearly you are not better than Mbappe. I don't care what you've done in the past. You are not better than Mbappe. You did not score a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Right? You did not get 45, 50, 60 goals in a season. 69 goals in a calendar year. You haven't done any of that. You haven't been to 2 separate World Cup finals. Right? You're a good player. You're not Mbappe. And don't get me wrong. Everyone knows how I feel about Mbappe at this point. I don't personally hate Mbappe. And I don't personally think it's his fault that things are happening bad in Madrid, but he is the reason. It's not his fault, but he is the reason. And I'll get more on that later, right? Vini would get in better form if he wasn't concerned with fighting with players. If he wasn't concerned with shit-talking. If he wasn't concerned with yelling at referees or playing the victim card 24/7. The other day, he got fouled against Real Betis. He comes off when he gets subbed. He's like, oh, the only reason it didn't go to VAR is because it's me. Bro has the worst victim mentality ever. And I understand, if there's racist abuse, by all means, defend yourself, do what you got to do, right? That shit's not cool. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But when you're getting fouled over and over, and you've gotten booked over and over for screaming at the ref to give a yellow card, it's got to start to click in your head at some point and be like, yo, maybe I shouldn't yell at the ref. Maybe I should just hope that he gets the yellow, and if he doesn't, there's nothing I could do about it, because if I yell, I'm going to get the yellow. There was a season Vini got 10 yellow cards for dissent. I just want you guys to put that into perspective. Some players can go 3 seasons without getting 10 yellow cards. Vini got 10 just for dissent. I wish they were for fouls. I wish he just Brexited somebody and snapped their legs in half to help us win a game. But no. It was for going to the ref. That's what all his yellow cards were for. Anyways, forget Vini. We've already gone over that. Let's go a little bit more over Atletico Madrid. I believe that we had to make those substitutions, and this comes back to the poor planning. Because at first I was like, yo, what the hell? Why is Asensio and Rudiger getting subbed off? And then I found out it came down to injuries and fatigue. So we put on 2 left backs, and at one point we had 3 left backs on the field. Okay? I don't think this is necessarily to blame on Xavi. I do believe that the blame is to go on Florentino Perez because of poor squad management, poor squad building. Now, I will never ever hate Florentino Perez. Actually, let me knock on wood. I don't want to jinx myself. I love Florentino Perez. I met Florentino Perez when I was a kid. I actually have an autographed pair of Predators by Florentino Perez over there. I'll show you guys. It's like faded. This is about, you can like kind of see it. It's a horrible signature, but there wasn't really anywhere else to put it. But yeah, that's more than a decade old, that signature. But I love Florentino Perez. He's the greatest club president in the history of football, not just of Real Madrid's presidential history, of all clubs. No man runs a club better. But his obsession with Mbappe has destroyed this club. It's kind of just like the whole Neymar thing. It's like, oh, a wonder kid slipped out of his hands and he just took it personally, right? It's like that guy that gets heartbroken by like his high school sweetheart and just becomes a different human after that. He like goes on his villain arc. He's in the gym in all black with his hood on, headphones on. He's always walking around depressed, mopey, Batman type vibes, and he's just like, revenge, blah, all that stupid shit. That's what Florentino Perez is. He missed out on Neymar 12 years ago, and ever since that day, he's like, if I want a player, I'm getting them. And unfortunately, it has ruined this club. This is why I keep saying the reason why the team plays poorly is because of Mbappe, but it is not Mbappe's fault. Mbappe's just coming in and playing. He didn't ask to be put into a squad that would get all discombobulated because he was on it. He just wants to play for the club. So it's not his fault. It is Florentino Perez's fault for not building a better squad around him, or for building a squad that didn't need an Mbappe and then signing him anyways. This is what I need you guys to get in your heads. And if you still can't comprehend this, block me, please, because you're just a moron. Like I've said in previous videos, you have a 4-4-2 diamond. It works successfully. Then you go and sign a player that you don't need, right? Unless you sell one of Vini and Rodrigo. If we had done that, it would have been absolutely fantastic. And in an ideal world, it's Vini. But we're not doing that. And this is why Simeone came out last night to get under Vini's skin and go, Vini, you hear the whistles? Florentino Perez is going to sell you. He's going to get rid of you. Watch. And frankly, I think Simeone is right. And I'm hoping that Simeone is right. And you guys will sit there and say in the comments, you don't respect Vini. You're not a real Real Madrid fan. You block all the stuff Vini's done for us, the Champions Leagues he's won us, all that good stuff. You're not appreciative. No, I absolutely am appreciative. But my homie can lend me $20 last week. But then he can also go and steal my girl. And now I hate the guy. That's just how life is. Vini scored in the Champions League final 2 years ago. Thank you, Vini. I appreciate you so much. Guess what? He's also been shit for the last 12 months. And it's because of his terrible attitude, his unwillingness to adapt, his laziness, the salary wages, his whole ego thing with Mbappe, right? I can put all the good stuff behind because he's not doing it anymore. He's doing more harm than good. And we know what Real Madrid is like. We see, I don't necessarily like that things are like this, but we saw how the club treated Casillas. We saw how the club treated Ronaldo. We saw how the club treated Ramos. Club legends, players that like have done more for this club than they've probably even done for their families. We saw how they were treated. When it was their time to go, it was their time to go. And I am under the strongest impression that regardless of how many Champions League titles Vinicius Jr. has won this club, it is his time to go because him and Mbappe, damn, my teeth look good. Him and Mbappe will never work. Ever. I heard Steve McManaman talking the other day about how much Mbappe and Rodrigo's play has been impacted by Mbappe. They cannot do the things that they are good at. They cannot do the things that they are comfortable with because he gets in their way from a tactical and literal physical perspective. And I've been saying this for 2 years. I said this before we signed Mbappe because I have eyes and I comprehend the game. When you watch as much soccer as I've watched over the last 15 years of my life, some of you guys, this is what I'm convinced you do. You turn on the TV and you just sit there like drones. Like NPCs. You don't watch this. You don't understand the sport. You don't watch the sport. You're just like, okay, I'm watching human beings move on a screen. What's the score after 90 minutes? That's how some of you guys watch soccer. I sit there and I try to understand, why did this happen? Why is this guy doing this? What makes sense to do here? What works, what doesn't, based off of the players we have. And I don't just watch Real Madrid. I literally watch everything. I watch La Liga. I watch Prem. I watch Bundesliga sometimes. I watch Serie A very occasionally. League One I don't watch, I'll be honest. Dog shit league. Messi could only score 8 goals. But what I'm saying is, I've watched enough football to understand what's going to work and what's not going to work. Now, am I saying I'm a world-class tactical philosopher of knowledge? I am the modern-day Gandhi of football? No, that's not what I'm saying. If that was the case, I'd be somewhere in Europe coaching, making millions of dollars. That's not the case. But, like, you don't have to be a professional coach or player to understand a concept that you have been watching week in, week out for 15 years. Right? A lot of us aren't boxers, but a lot of us watch boxing. Do you need to be a world-class boxer to know you probably shouldn't stand there like this? No. You just, I've watched enough fights to know that I should probably have my hands up and protect myself, right? It's the same thing. So before Mbappe even signed, I'm looking at this and I'm like, so you mean to tell me two players that like to do exactly the same thing in the exact same area of the field, but one is substantially better at the other one is substantially better than the other at it, but we're going to move him out of that zone. We're going to put him in an area that he's horrible at, that he doesn't like playing in whatsoever, that he does not have the strengths to play. We're going to force him to do it just for the sake of selling shirts. The other guy's going to get upset because that guy who's supposed to be in the central zones is still going to come here and try to do this. He's going to get in his way. And then you've got this guy over here who also wants to be here. And all three of them are getting in each other's way. You had a guy right here under the initial two, Vini and Rodrigo, I'm talking about Bellingham, who was very good at running into the box and doing what a traditional center forward does. But no, we're going to ask him to be a center attacking midfielder, an 8, a 6, and a right back at the same time. And a left mid in a 4-4-2. Just for the sake of signing this guy right here to sell jerseys. I knew this was going to happen, right? And then what else did we go and do? We went and signed the best crosser of a soccer ball since I don't even know who. David Beckham? Marcelo? I don't know who. Whoever your favorite crosser is. But hold on. Who's he going to cross the ball to? The guy that's unwilling to make a run to the back post? The 5'8" left winger who against Atletico Madrid had a free header and put it 75 feet over the bar? The right-footed winger on the right wing that doesn't even end up on the back post because he's on the same flank as Trent Alexander-Arnold? Or what about the guy that's actually good in the air and likes to crash into the box? Jude Bellingham. Maybe he crossed him. Oh, wait, no. He's actually stuck playing in a pseudo 10-8-6 left wing right back role because we're having to overcompensate for the lack of defensive stability on the right side and the left side because Mbappe doesn't press, Vini doesn't press, Trent can't defend for shit. What squad building is this? Like, you just gotta look at it from a logical perspective. Let's look at the other pieces. Do you guys want to know why we have so many defensive injuries every year? Because the ball ends up in our defensive third significantly more often ever since Mbappe's arrival. Why? There's no first line of pressure. I've noticed this season that in the games Mbappe isn't on, Vini will press a little bit harder. In the games Mbappe is on, he's literally sat there like looking at Mbappe like this. He's waiting. He's waiting for Mbappe to press. He's like, okay, if Mbappe presses, oh shit, that's not going to look good on me. I got to press too. And then the center backs pick their heads up for, I'm assuming most of you don't play because you just don't understand this, but when you're a center back and the guy standing next to you doesn't even breathe near you to put pressure, you have all the time in the world to pick out a really good pass into an attacking zone. And then if a center midfielder picks it up, and keep in mind, Real Madrid's playing a high line, like always, the center mid picks it up here, boom, free through ball. Boom, free through ball, because he had time and space to receive from his center back. And then Militao is having to sprint back 60 yards like he did the other day, pull his hamstring because he's overcompensating. Huijsen can barely deal with the ball out of the air, and he's injury prone as hell. Rudiger's been injured for 2 years damn near. Alaba's been injured for the same amount of time. Mendy can't stay fit for more than 35 minutes because they're having to run double. Because they're having to do more work. And then we looked at it that season, right? That season that we won the double. We saw that Militao was out injured for a very long time. We saw that Alaba was out injured for a very long time. We saw that Nacho left. His contract ended and he left. What did we go and do? Did we go and sign any defenders? Did we? No. We went and signed Mbappe, the third left winger on our squad. And this is why we're horrible. Because we have terrible squad building. We could have went and signed a center back. We didn't. Unfortunately, we did not. And that's why we went trophyless last season. This year, thankfully, We signed Huijsen. Was that enough? No. Now, I know we signed Carreras, who can also play center back and played center back last night as well. Cool. Militao is out for several months. Alaba will probably never play another game for this club ever again. This is probably Rudiger's last season. We need to sign minimum 3 center backs. Do you know how hard it is for 3 center backs to adapt to a league and come in and do what they've got to do? It is very difficult. We should have signed these guys one at a time over the last 2-3 windows. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So there isn't even much I could say about the game last night. We grinded out a result, which is nice to see. It's nice to see that our players were actually willing to suffer to get a result, because they're usually not willing to suffer. But there isn't even much I want to say about the game. I just want to discuss why are things the way they are. It's like some of us don't look at this from a logical perspective. We just look at it as Mbappe scores 60 goals a year. He's our hero. We're the best club in the world. We're going to win the treble, blah, blah, blah. Once again, it's not Mbappe's fault that things got disbalanced, but he is the reason things got disbalanced. And if y'all don't want to take it from me, take it from the literal man that played for this club. Steve McManaman. Right? I think his first name's Steve. I'm pretty sure. I hope. Take it from him, because he said the same thing. Take it from Kian Sabani. Take it from Faisal. Take it from all those guys. Everyone knows. Anyone that's watched the sport long enough can understand. Like I said in the last video, it's not very difficult to comprehend unless you watch soccer like an NPC. But hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Some of your comments make me want to remove my eyeballs from my head and rinse them in a vat of bleach and vinegar so that I can unsee those words. But you know what? I'm going to just let y'all do your thing. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully the season picks back up. I don't think it will. I still think we're going to go trophyless. I think my score prediction for the El Clasico Spanish Super Cup final, 3-0 Barcelona, especially with Rudiger and Raul Asensio out injured. I just don't see a world where we win. But hey, who knows? I'm hoping we can pull it off. I don't think so. Incoming, you're not a real Real Madrid fan. You don't support us. You don't have confidence in us. I have a brain, though. I have a brain. Okay? Anyways. Hala Madrid! Love you guys. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Leave a dislike. I don't care. Do what you want to do. Goodbye.